So I don't know what's going on with that. I do want to touch on this point as well. Congressman Wahlberg obviously had a little miscommunication.
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, 9/11 terror trial set for 2021.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay, so he's not done. So who was in? I thought there was something in New York about him. Wasn't there a previous?
You're right. That's what got me going. That's why I thought, wait a minute, maybe I did remember it wrong. But
maybe he's doing second charge. Maybe they're getting him for something else.
Yeah. So anyways, 2021. I had him down for 2020, but it's 2021.
Okay, so we're talking with election coming up. And we're talking about these crazy Democrat candidates pushing their Medicare for all. Bernie Sanders, Medicare for all. We must get rid of all private health care.
All, including illegal immigrants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I want to put a call out to our union guys because they're in this area. There are a lot of union guys in Southeast Michigan, good union workers. I want them to think about it. Number one, your union leadership just got raided this week, right? They raided the past president, the current president, all kinds of top dogs for fraud, embezzlement, basically, and embezzlement. These guys are living high on the hog on your dues. And they're sucking up to Democrats who now want to take Medicare for all and get rid of the hard-earned benefits that you've earned. A lot of these union guys have what they call the Cadillac plans, right? You've got good benefits as a union guy. Most of you do. And if that's part of what you work so hard for and you pay your dues for, why would you vote for Democrats who want to take that away and put you on the same crappy government system? Because that's what it's going to turn into. There's no way you can provide Medicare for all and have a good system that's going to give you everything you need. It's not going to happen. I don't trust the government to run that good. Do you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So for crying out loud, union guys, the Democrats want to take away your hard-earned benefits.
Remember, we're privatizing VA.
Exactly. Right?
If you're not close enough to a VA or you can't get in soon enough, under Trump, you can now go to a private doctor. Why? Because you're not getting the service you deserve at the VA.
Yeah, and
that will not be available to the American citizen under the Democrat under Bernie Sanders.
Right.
Heck, we won't even have enough resources to hand out aspirin to everybody and say, "Call me in the morning." We won't, because we'll be giving free health care to people who have chosen to destroy their lives with opiate addiction, with lifestyle choices, and immigrants from all over the world who will flock to this country to get that free aspirin.
Right. You can't have the open borders and open benefits, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane that anyone would be doing it. Let's take a call from Alex in Plymouth, wants to talk about unions.
I know an Alex.
Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm good, guys. I'm a 44-year veteran of the UAW, and you know that there's a reason we've had 40 years of terrible contracts, and that's because the UAW leadership from Solidarity House on down has been in the pockets of the big three. And, they've been negotiating, can I say, crap contracts for as long as I've been in. And they've also been backing politicians that's been promoting bad trade deals ever since I've been in. So, that's why I gave up on their philosophy, and I switched over to vote for Trump, and I will continue to do so.
Alex, so how many of your union brothers do you talk to on a regular basis? What is the feeling in the union world as to Trump versus a Warren, a Bernie, or a Biden?
Well, just like the real world, there's a lot of support for Trump and his policies. Unfortunately, if you're on the shop floor, you're not always, putting it on your shirt sleeve. But on Facebook, I certainly get a lot of support for my pro-Trump posts.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, keep pushing, Alex. I know you do. And this is Alex Wassul, who comes in and co-hosts with us sometimes. So thanks for calling in, Alex. I appreciate it. Anything else?
No, great show. I'll just sit back and listen to the end.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a great one.
I was just recently at an Auto Workers for Trump rally.
You were?
Yeah. It's in Troy, that area. Yeah.
But you don't work in a union shop right now.
I would not work in a union shop. I worked with Alex. And I remember once getting put out for something. I got put out for 3 days for some reason. I can't remember what it was. And for 3 days, they couldn't find the committee man to get me back in. And my boss...
He was probably partying it up.
He was. My boss, the foreman, apologized to me. He says, I couldn't put it on paper, but I wanted to get you back in. I needed you back in here because of the kind of worker you are. And I couldn't find your committee man anywhere. And I knew the committee man. And I said, where the heck were you, Scotty? He says, well, I was down in Kentucky watching the basketball games. I had to get out of town because if they could find me, then they could put this other guy, we used to call him Radio Frank because he stole all these radios out of the plant. You know the song, the Johnny Cash song about building a 54, 55, 56, 57 Cadillac, part by part. Well, this Frank was stealing these top-of-the-line radios. I'm not giving a last name here, but he was stealing them out of the plant. And so the union gave up a ton of grievances, including mine, to keep Frank in his position.
Wow.
Yeah, and because of that guy, I lost 3 days' pay when the company wanted me back in, would have put me back in, but they couldn't find my committee man so that they could get me back in. So that's the kind of corruption I'm used to in the union. And like I've had recruiters call me and say, hey, would you like to come and work here? Oh, by the way, it's a union environment. I says, why? So I can come in on a Saturday and you'll bring 4 other union brothers in who don't know what I do, but you got to bring them in to watch me do what I'm doing because I'm the only one who knows what he's doing. I said, it ain't going to work for me. I'm not going to watch you pay 4 other people work while I'm working. I don't care.
Right. Okay, so last thing I want to cover real quick, Brexit. So there was a lot of boo-hoo by the Liberals this week when Boris Johnson went to the Queen and said, we want to suspend Parliament for a couple of weeks. And I can't remember the name. It starts with a P. This happens regularly. And they suspend Parliament for a couple of weeks, twice a year or something
I know
like
what
that.
you're talking about, yeah.
And but Boris Johnson is listening to the people. And this is what people don't understand. The people of Britain voted for Brexit. They want to leave. They're done. They're tired with the EU controlling them, taking advantage of them. And you know what? As I was talking with a friend, if it were Romania or somebody else wanting to leave the EU wouldn't care. Mm-hmm. But Britain is the piggy bank. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're a big chunk of money for the EU, and that's why the EU is coercing them to not leave, and they want to penalize them and whatever. I'm hoping that Boris Johnson has reached the point where he's going to say, we're going to leave the EU, Brexit, no deal, no plan, no negotiations. You guys do whatever you got to do, but we're leaving. And I hope that happens.
Yeah.
I hope that happens, and I think at the G7, President Trump said to him, don't worry about your trade deals, you'll trade with us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
All right, well, there's the end of the show. Hopefully we'll talk to Congressman Wahlberg next month. Until then, go to the Daily Drift online and go to the Current online, COURANT online.com. Help us advertise. See you next week.
See you.